What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Carolina Auto Direct. We're going to take a look at their 2021 Ram TRX. So huge shout out to them for providing this truck for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website because they have a ton of 2021 models on the lot. So definitely check them out. I'll have all that information down in the description below. But the TRX that you see behind me is finished off in a very beautiful blue, and it has a list price right around $105,000. But we're going to start off today's review with what powers this truck. Underneath the hood, you'll find the 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi V8 paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission. It pumps out a whopping 702 horsepower around 6,100 RPM and 650 pound-feet of torque around 4,800 RPM. All of that power is sent to all four wheels. It weighs in right around 6,800 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in around 3.7 seconds, up to around 4.5 seconds, depending on the situation, of course. It has a top speed of 118 miles an hour. And with a fuel capacity of 33 gallons, you can expect to see around 10 miles per gallon in the city and 14 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 145.1 inches. Its overall length is 232.9. It has a width of 88 inches, a height of 80.8 inches. Its ground clearance measures in at 11.8 inches, and it can also ford through 32 inches of water. As we work our way to the exterior now on this TRX, I'm going to start off with the massive aggressive presence that this truck has to offer. And I think what helps add to that is the fact that the grille actually wraps around both sides of the headlights. You'll see it just underneath the hood here, and then the lower section has some really nice lines in it, just wrapping around to give it that known presence. We also have Ram in massive letters, which are also hollow too, to help provide even more airflow to that engine, along with the cutouts that you see in both grills below that. You'll also notice too that this has LED headlights along with LED DRLs and LED turn signals. You'll see the DRL on the upper section along with a small strip in the lower section. We have some more body work just in between that and the LED fog lights down below, just to break that up and tie it in nicely with the rest of the blue, of course. You'll also notice all the parking sensors along with the forward-facing camera. Being such a massive truck, this is a great way to get that added visibility up front, especially if you're taking this off-road. You'll also notice two tow hooks up front as well, along with a little bit different of a color in the lower section of the bumper, just to break it up from the black. And then as we work our way up to this hood, you can see the 3 lights in the functional hood scoop, along with some black accents. We have some more vents on both sides, along with some badges, and that gives it a really aggressive look, tying in nicely with the front end. As we work our way to the side now for this TRX, I'm gonna start off with this massive wheel and tire combo. So this has a really aggressive set of 35-inch tires. They wrap an 18-inch wheel that measures 9 inches wide. You can also see it has that beadlock design to it, along with a two-tone finish, and that matches well with this exterior blue, so it really gives it a good combo. You'll also notice too that this truck has the Bilstein suspension setup. It provides around 13 inches of travel for the front wheels and 14 inches of travel for the rear. It also has the remote reservoirs, just adding to the ability to take this off-road at higher speed situations. Of course, that's what this truck is designed to do. You'll also notice too that the side mirrors are finished off in black, along with having the integrated turn signal, and there's a camera system underneath each one, and I'll show that system later on in today's video. You'll also notice that this truck has a panoramic sunroof. The window trim is finished off in black, which ties in nicely with the black strip you see running across the lower section of the door. And you'll also notice too just how wide this truck is from the side. You can see these massive front fender flares that also have a really nice trim piece below them, as well as how wide the rear fender flares are. So it gives it a great look from the side. You can also see the Ram badge along with these steel running boards. Not only does that add a little bit better protection for the side, but it gives you a really good way to enter and exit this truck. And you'll also notice too, it has some really nice lines running down the side. You'll see one in that front quarter panel as I showed, and then it tapers off into this one just above the door handles. And you'll see one in the lower section by the Ram badge as well. And last up for this TRX, you can see the integrated backup camera just above the release handle for this tailgate. You can also see Ram spelled out along with the hollow TRX badge. 4x4 is over on the passenger side. This also has a towing capacity around 8,100 pounds. You can see all the parking sensors down in the lower section of this bumper as well. And this truck also offers LED taillights. They have a really nice design. You can see the bodywork surrounding them, of course, just to integrate them a little bit nicer. And then down below, you can see both of the tow hooks as well as the dual exhaust, and mounted up underneath is a full-size spare. Before we make our way to the interior, this truck does have remote start, so if I lock the vehicle and double tap this button on the lower right, you can hear it come to life, which is a really nice feature to have. If you do need to shut the truck off for whatever reason, you can double tap on that button again. But now with the truck locked and the key in my pocket, all I have to do is grab on the door handle and you can hear it unlock. where now we can move on to this door panel. You'll see it has a combination of solid black leather, perforated leather right in the middle, and then there's a suede-like material running around it, and a very nice trim piece going all the way to the black chrome release handle. You can see the memory seating adjustments just in front of that. This truck also has the 10-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. You can see all the window controls along with the side mirror adjustments. There's a little bit of storage space just underneath the grab handle, and then plenty of room in the lower section of the door for whatever items you need to place there. As we work our way to the interior, you can see Ram down on the door sill, along with this truck having the all-weather floor mats. And then taking a look at these black leather seats now, you can see TRX right in the middle, along with silver stitching running down the headrests and the bolsters. Really nice insert to these seats. They are heated and ventilated as well. And then down on the side are all the automatic controls, along with the lumbar support. And now that we're inside with my foot on the brake, it's time to start it up. And coming back to the gauge cluster, you'll see over on the left side is the engine temperature along with the tach. On the right side is the fuel gauge and the miles per hour. And then right in the middle, there's a large LCD screen where you can go through all this information using these controls over on the left side of the steering wheel. So right now, currently you can see the miles per hour. If I scroll down, you can go into vehicle information and view TPMS and all of these other vitals that you can monitor. There is a ton of information that you can look at depending on what you're doing with this vehicle and the different gauges that you want to pull up. You can look at the engine power along with your air to fuel ratio. We can scroll down to the off-road so you can see the degrees of the steering wheel. So as I turn it there, you can see that adjust. You can also look at the pitch and roll along with the wheel articulation, which is very nice to see. You can scroll down and look at your performance, so 0 to 60, 0 to 100. All of those different performance driving pages are within this page right here, and that is very awesome to see on a truck like this. It even has a lap timer, so you can keep up with the lap times in your TRX. There's also the driver assistance. You can look at the fuel economy, which doesn't really pertain to the TRX. You can look at the trip information along with the trailer tow system. So when you do have a trailer behind this, you can monitor that. Along with your audio, any messages that you want to look at, different settings to go into. So right now you can see the compass in the upper left, outside temperature is in the upper right, and you can go into this and basically set it up the way that you'd like to. So whatever you like to see the most, you can easily go into this and configure that. And then the last page is for the diagnostics. So you can go into this and check for any codes or anything like that. And then as we work our way to the steering wheel now, you'll see it's covered with perforated leather on the sides and suede on the top and the bottom. It also has a flat bottom design to it. Over on the left side, along with all those controls that I just showed, you can see Bluetooth and voice commands. And then over on the right side is all of the cruise and adaptive cruise control settings. This truck also has steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, and they do split running across the top and the bottom here because on both sides you have the hands-free controls for volume and tuning for the radio, which is really nice to see. So you can shift on the upper section, you can shift down below. And then as we work our way to the left side of the steering wheel, you can see all the headlight controls and fog light controls. There's dimmer switches for the gauges. You can adjust the pedals. There's also the electronic parking brake. We have one air vent just above that, along with leather covering the entire dash. This truck also has the heads-up display. So right now I'm looking at the miles per hour and the speed limit. And then as we work our way to the center, you can see a little bit of storage space along with a 12-volt over on the right side and RAM spelled out. And then just below that, we have this massive 12-inch screen. There is a ton of information that you can go through within the system. Currently, right now, you can see I have the climate controls pulled up, so you can quickly adjust the temperature for driver and passenger. You can push on these buttons or swipe your finger up and down. We have fan speed just next to that, along with another temperature gauge. You have auto as well. Power and volume for the radio is on the left side, and then tuning is on the right side. And then at the bottom here, you have different presets which are adjustable. So currently this has the media along with all the controls for the heated and ventilated seats. This also has a heated steering wheel, and we have some shortcuts to the camera system, which I'll come back to here soon. You already saw the climates. You can go into different apps. So whatever you use the most, you can actually drag and drop these down below. So if you're backing this up all the time, hooking up to a trailer, and you're not worried about the climate controls, you can bring this down here and quickly pull up that backup camera. So it's very helpful to have shortcuts like that. You can also see navigation and phone are currently down there as well. And if I scroll over, you can see all of the other settings that you can go into. You have the forward-facing camera as well, different pages to go into, like the performance pages. So for a truck like this, it's really nice how you can monitor all of this information, like your torque, all of your different timers, how much power. You can look at your launch control. You can set all of that. There's different timers that you can go into, so you can monitor all of this. you can pull up all of the vital gauges that you need to see. So rather than looking at them in the center gauge cluster, which is also helpful, you can pull all of them up at the same exact time. You can go into the G-force meter to see how many G's you're pulling in your TRX. You can also look at the dyno along with any vehicle dynamics. So it's really awesome to see all of this in a stock vehicle. You also have the different drive modes. There's sport, tow, snow. You have all these different off-road settings that you can put the truck into, of course. We can quickly get back to the home screen here, which is also split between the top and the bottom. So you can pull up all of your climates up top, and then if you're on the phone, you can look at that down below. You'll also notice over on the left side, we have the engine start stop button, along with the different driving modes that you can quickly get to. And you'll see the diagram in the gauge cluster here change depending on what you are in. So right now it's on custom. We can go over to mud and sand. You'll also see rock, baja, and then sport. And then with towing, you can see a small trailer there, or a large trailer, I should say, in the picture there. So it's really nice to see that. Also below that is all the four-wheel drive selectors along with the axle lock. It also features launch control, which is really nice to see. And then below this screen, you can see the trailer braking system along with all of the different auxiliaries. So if you have air compressors, anything you're hooking up to this truck, extra lights, anything like that, you can quickly hook them up, and it's really nice to have a designated area for those. You'll see just above that, you can turn on and off the front and rear parking sensors, along with traction control and a downhill assist. And then working our way below that, you'll see some auxiliaries over on the right side, a little bit of storage space, and a wireless charging port down in the bottom, which offers a lot of space. So you can put some items down there if you'd like to. You'll see there are two cup holders over on the right side. And then coming to the gear selector now, with my foot on the brake, I can pull the release and put the truck into reverse. And now we can go over this camera system. So of course we have the backup camera along with the top-down view. And there's several different angles that you can go into along with the forward-facing camera. We have the forward-facing with the top-down view, along with the backup camera here, so you can see the guidelines as well to provide you with a lot more visibility. So it's really nice to have all of those angles in a large truck like this. You can also shift using the gear selector if you'd like to. You'll see there's a little bit of storage space behind that. As we work our way to the center armrest now, you'll see it's finished off in more suede and leather on the sides. We have a TRX badge right in the middle. And then there's actually two different compartments here. You can see the upper one is a little bit shallower, but you can definitely fit in any items you'd like to. And you can see just how large this center area is, along with having a T-Rex and a Raptor down in the lower section there, and a conversion chart on the back side. So if you're using this as a work truck, that's a quick diagram that you can get to. And then as we work our way to both glove boxes, you can see the upper one has a good amount of storage space. And then going to the traditional one, you can place any items in there that you'd like to. We'll go ahead and take one last look at these seats with TRX spelled out, gives it a great look. And as I mentioned earlier, this does have a full panoramic sunroof, so you can use those controls in the middle, of course, to do that. You can also adjust the sunroof, you can open up the rear glass and fold down the tailgate. And then we have the dome lights on both sides, and on the front section, there's also a sunglass holder. Now that I'm in the back seats of this TRX, there is so much space back here. I have the front seat set at my height. I'm 5'10". I can almost barely touch the backrest of the seat. Plenty of room for my feet and my legs, and around 2 or 3 inches above my head. So it's very spacious, even to have two people next to me, which is really nice to see. If you don't have a center passenger, you can actually flip this entire backrest down, giving you two cup holders and a little bit of storage space in the back side of this armrest, where you'll also notice it's finished off just like the front one. We have leather on the sides and more of that suede material on the inside. So the attention to detail on that is very nice to see. You'll also notice too, there are storage pockets behind both front seats and some netting here, so you can add any adapters that you like to for whatever tools or any items you have to place there, which is also great to see. Right in the middle, we have two cup holders, and we even have the heated and ventilated seat controls, which you don't see often in pickup trucks. So that's really cool, along with all the auxiliaries. There's even a 3-prong outlet, and then we have the air vents on both sides. And you can also flip up the bottoms of these seats. So there's a lever in the front. If you pull on that, they'll lock into place. You can do that on both of them, of course, and that provides you with a lot more interior storage. There's even a small divider here if you have smaller items that you don't want to roll around. And then just by pulling on this latch here, you can go ahead and fold these down. So it's very versatile for the back seats of this TRX. And then last up for this TRX, we'll take a look at the bed space. So I can double tap that button on the key fob, and you'll see that this bed has a really nice spray and bed liner to give it that added protection. There's also tie-down hooks in all four corners, along with some dome lights to provide some light if you're using this truck at nighttime. This model also has an added bed cover just to give you a little bit more versatility. You can have this as dry storage space, protect any items that you'd like on the inside, especially with having the tailgate that locks as well. And it's also a very light tailgate, so it's very easy to close up with one hand. All right, so getting the Ram TRX out on the road now, just giving it a little bit of gas, gradually getting up to the speed limit. You can hear that supercharger whine, and that is awesome to hear in a truck like this. So it's very cool how Ram has designed this truck to basically give you the performance, but to also give you the practicality of having a pickup truck. If you need this type of truck, you're hauling items, or you just want a pickup truck, but you want the practicality of being able to put people in the back and actually use that as functional rear seat passenger storage, but you want all of this performance that you can go through all these pages here and have a pretty good handling truck, this is definitely a great option. This is a large truck. I own a mid-sized truck, so coming into this truck here, it's really not all that hard to get used to driving down the road, but you can feel this has a large presence to it. I feel like I'm almost line to line here, but at the same time, it is easy to drive. It's very maneuverable. Once you get used to it, of course, anything that you have some seat time behind gets easier to drive the more you're in it. But this is definitely an awesome truck. I love this new screen setup. It's been in the Ram for a few years now. It has so many things that you can go through, as you've already seen in today's video, and a very nice interior too. With the two-tone steering wheel, we have the really nice leather seats. But I think that's enough for talking. Let's go ahead and pop it into sport mode here. And as we get there, we can pop it over into the manual setting and drop it down a few gears. This is a brand new truck, so I can't do anything crazy in it today, but we can at least get a little bit of taste of this truck. That supercharger whine is so crazy to hear in a truck. As we come to a stop here, brakes do a pretty good job for this heavy truck, and we'll give it a little bit more gas here. Hopefully the camera can hear that. That's a lot louder than the exhaust, especially from the driver's seat here. You can hear that supercharger whine, and that's definitely awesome. But as far as just driving this, if this is your daily driver, it's very comfortable. The suspension is absorbing all of these bumps very well, and I would figure that because of the travel that it has, it's going to give you a very soft suspension, yet at the same time, coming around turns like this, going at normal speed, I mean, there's hardly any body roll, and that's weird to say in a pickup truck. Of course, there's going to be a little bit. It's hard to tell right now because I'm not taking any hard corners, but for a truck, this is driving very, very well. So I could see this being a great daily driver, especially if you want to have some fun with it and shift gears in your pickup truck. But it's very quiet on the inside too. Aside from the supercharger whining and a little bit of the exhaust, there's no road noise or wind noise. It's very composed, even cars passing like that. It's a very nice interior to be in, and that's what you'd like, especially in a pickup truck. If this is your daily driver, you want all these creature comforts, like the heated and ventilated seats, all this information to go through, all the technology features as well. Let's talk about the U-turn ability here. Wow, that's pretty impressive for a big truck like this. Not even doing anything crazy, short shifting, but wow. We're up to the speed limit just like that. For a heavy truck like this, I mean, over 700 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque, you're really not gonna have any issues getting up to the speed. You won't have any issues with towing, as it can tow just over 8,000 pounds. And it's a very versatile truck. We have a large bed for any items you want to place there, very versatile backseat area, and like I mentioned earlier, I could fit back there and be very comfortable. So if you're using this as a work truck, you have a family, you need that extra storage space. I have a friend with one. He has car seats in the back, and it definitely has or offers a lot of space for situations like that. So if you need a full-size truck, but you want this performance, the TRX is definitely a great option. And then briefly just talking on visibility, aside from the camera system, pickup trucks really don't have any blind spots. I can look over both shoulders. The glass is very large, so you can see back here on the back glass there, very easy to see. Those downshifts sound pretty good as well. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive, getting behind the wheel of the 2021 Ram TRX. Once again, huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this truck for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. That link is down in the description below. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button if you'd like to stay up to date on our daily uploads. I'll see you in the next review.